All right, here's some good news. According to Mike Coppinger and his trusty sources, former title holder Joseph Parker and Joe Joyce have struck a deal for a heavyweight bout that will land in the UK, possibly on September 24th. Sources tell ESPN. Parker recently signed with Boxer, which has an exclusive with Sky, I guess he meant to say deal, but BT Sport box office will televise. Story coming. Now, as I've said before, I trust, or let me not say trust, I've found Mike Coppinger's sources, quote unquote, to be far more reliable than, let's say, Gareth A. Davis's sources. When Gareth A. Davis says, my sources tell me this and that, I tend to just roll my eyes. But when Mike Coppinger says his sources tell him X, Y, Z, I tend to think, okay, there could be some truth to this because of the track record that Mike Coppinger has with regards to these types of things. So if this is true, then again, great news, because it seemed as though the fight was dead in the water. Frank Warren was really upset with Joseph Parker, and he seems unwilling to have Joe Joyce go over to fight Joseph Parker on Sky Sports, which is what Joe Joyce was offered, right? They made, I guess it was a multi-million-pound offer to Joe Joyce to go and fight Joseph Parker on the Sky Network. Well, according to Mike Coppinger's tweet, it's now the opposite. It's now BT looking to actually show the fight, and Joseph Parker, despite the fact he's recently signed with Sky, he'd be going over to the rival network in BT, which was what was supposed to happen originally, and fighting Joe Joyce over there. So if this is true, then Frank Warren has got his way. He's a very stubborn, cantankerous old man. And perhaps Ben Shalom thought, you know what, let's just put all the egos and all the nonsense aside. We'll let Joe go fight over there. If Frank Warren's going to be stubborn and hot-headed and unreasonable, never mind all that. We believe in Joe. We believe he can go over there and get a W, and that will increase his value, right? That will increase his commercial value, but also it will put him in a better position to fight for a world title and potentially win a world title. So that's probably what's going on if this indeed turns out to be true. Let's hope it is. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below about Mike Coppinger's tweet here saying that September 24th will be Joseph Parker, or potentially that date will be Joseph Parker fighting Joe Joyce on BT Sport box office. Now, some people are saying, as you can see in the comments, that there shouldn't be a box office fight. Well, I hear that, but the problem is Joseph Parker has been involved in box office fights many times. Of course, he fought Dylan White on box office, he fought Anthony Joshua on box office, etc. And so he's used to a certain level of pay, right? Joe Joyce, he hasn't fought box office before, has he? The Dubois fight wasn't box office to my recollection. I think maybe originally they were talking about doing it on pay-per-view, but in the end, I think it was just regular BT. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I'm not sure who would get the bulk of the money here. If it was some type of eliminator for a belt, then I guess that would be determined by the sanctioning body. But if it's not an eliminator for any belt, I want to assume that Joseph Parker would get the lion's share because of the kind of fights he's been in and the money he's, made before. And therefore, perhaps the whole box office thing is more to satisfy his demands rather than Joe Joyce's demands. Again, I'm speculating here. I don't know any of this for sure. But boxing is expensive. I know the boxing public don't like hearing promoters and what have you say these kind of things, and they don't like the whole concept of pay-per-view, and neither do I. But realistically speaking, with the purses that the fighters are demanding, how else are you going to generate the money? I liked the idea of a Netflix for sport, which is what DAZN originally was marketing itself as in the UK and in the United States. But they've hit some stumbling blocks with regards to their business model because of the way the economy's been impacted due to government policy over the past couple years with the restrictions and what have you. And, that's impacted the sport, that's impacted the economy as a whole. People have had to adjust their business models, but also the deals that have fallen through for the zone, namely the acquisition of BT Sport. That would have been a big deal for the zone if they managed to acquire BT Sport in Britain. The fact they haven't got that has really knocked them back a lot. If they had got it, then perhaps this Netflix for sport business model in the UK would have worked, because they would have, I guess, Premier League football and a bunch of other major sports, which would have upped the subscriber levels in Britain by an enormous amount. And at that stage, perhaps you don't need pay-per-view. But without that, there's no other way to do it, unfortunately, folks. And that's with the zone. And of course, with the other broadcasters, it's business as usual. BT, Sky, it's going to be box office whenever a fight is remotely expensive. So that is what that is. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Irrespective of it being box office, is this still a fight that you like? And if so, who do you have winning?